Hi, friends, and welcome to Costuming in Color. We're a YouTube show dedicated to showcasing amazing costumers of color and those that support them. I'm Gigi, a history buff, costumer, and dabblist.
And I'm Noelle, a costumer who likes to play both sides of the historical and cosplay world. Today, we are interviewing Noor of Nimble Noor. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
But first, some house rules. The first rule of Costuming in Color is that you tell everyone about costuming in color.
Yes, this way, even if you don't have people of color in your local groups, you can get to know some in a global community.
The second rule is that kindness matters. Aside from that, there are no rules. So let's get into it. Noor, where are you from? And do you still live there?
Hi. Well, I'm from Florida. I do not live there currently. It's very weird for me to not be in Florida, let me tell you. I moved there when I was 6 and I left when I was 25, something like that, 24. I don't know, but right before the pandemic. So moved to Louisville, Kentucky for a job. So I live where there's snow sometimes, and it's interesting.
What is your favorite thing about where you live? It's not the snow, clearly.
That's not the snow. I was lied to about how much snow there is or is not. I think it's a great city. It's one of those it's kind of like Texas, where it's like a red state with giant blue dots in the cities. So I live in the neighborhood. It's like amazing. The food is great. All of the I've never lived in a place that supports its local businesses and restaurants like this, ever. So that part's really cool.
Yeah, my friend Abby goes there all the time because I think that's where her dad lives. So I hear a lot of good things about Louisville, whereas not the rest of that state.
Yeah. Pronounce the name of the city for us.
So it's Louisville.
Yeah.
You say, you don't say Louisville. People are really, it's on t-shirts in the airport.
Yep. They're very particular because they know when you're not a local. They're like, where are you from?
Yeah, they know when you're not a local, and everybody here is very tight knit. Like, you move here and don't leave. It's one of those places. So the question is not, oh, where'd you go to college? It's oh, where'd you go to high school?
Gigi, say the name of your city, Gigi.
New Orleans.
Oh.
Say the name of your city.
New Orleans?
My mom says Nowlands.
That's horrible. We don't like it. We don't like it. So if you talk to older people, they'll say New Orleans. And but I've never heard anyone say Nolans. I've never heard a local say that's where they're from.
Really? Oh. That's fascinating.
Like, if you're trying to be funny, maybe.
Yeah. Gaynell said it the way you said it just now. New Orleans.
Interesting.
New Orleans. Yeah. It was interesting. I'm from California and I'm actually born and bred here.
Okay.
And no one else is. Everyone came here.
They're transplants.
So we don't have any kind of that because we're like, well.
So how do you say California? California. How do you
California.
Say it? Okay, that's how I say it.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have any of that.
For a local.
Yeah, I say it's SoCal and NorCal because that's actually more important to me if you're from the top or the bottom.
Yeah.
I am from the bottom and moved to the top.
Oh.
Like the Jeffersons.
Exactly. I'll have that in my head for the next 3 days. Thanks.
I'm dating myself, but yeah, that's what I said.
Oh my gosh. One time I got Sanford and Son stuck in my head for literally 6 months.
That's never happened to me.
Well, it might now. Bum, bum, bottom. Bum, bum, bottom, bottom, bum. Now everyone watching will also have that happen.
There you go.
Okay, this is not about us. Hi.
Hi. Noor came on here. They came on here with the energy that I feel like goes along with this energy.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
thank you for humoring us.
We're on point. Yeah.
They're friends with Nami, so that should tell you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're very good friends with Nami also.
Nami's good people.
She is.
I'm friend.
So now I want to ask you about your Instagram handle. What is it and how did you choose it?
My handle is the same on all of my social media because I did that on purpose. It's Nimble Noor. So I rebranded a couple of years ago from an extremely long esoteric handle to this one. My previous handle, I don't know. I like words that go together, and my previous handle had the letter N in it, so I kind of like started with that. Noor is my name, and Nimble Noor just kind of sounded cool, and it was available. Yeah, I wish I had a better answer, but it just felt right. So that's where I picked that from. I chose an alliteration with a letter that went with my name.
It felt right to me too. The first time I read it, I was like, yes, that's the one right there.
It just feels good. Yeah, it makes me feel good. It's that little Marie Kondo.
Exactly.
Sparks joy. That is the reason.
Does. Yeah. What is the costuming scene like where you live?
I don't know, actually. I moved to Louisville 4 months before the pandemic started.
Oh.
So, or 6 months, and 3 months of that I didn't have a car for reasons. So I didn't really get to explore the city too much before it was, not a great idea to mingle with lots of people. So unfortunately, I don't really know the local community.
That sucks. I'm so sorry.
It sucks. It's like not this. I'm an introverted person, and it's difficult for me to like meet new people. I joined a couple of online groups, but that's it really.
Well, hopefully we will introduce you to some more online folks.
Yes, that would be great. The cool thing about this city is that it's within driving distance of a lot of other cities. So I'm hoping when it becomes, as long as things are safe, I'll be able to go to more conventions like in Cincinnati or Indianapolis. Gen Con is definitely on the wish list someday.
Gen Con sounds like a lot of fun. That's one of the few cons I've not been to, and I keep thinking,
I want to try it.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
And now the pivotal question of our entire interview: cosplay, historical, or both?
I mean, cosplay, but I am inspired a lot by historical costuming techniques. I've done a couple historical builds, but most of them are just cosplay.
If and when you do historical, what time period or place is your favorite?
I like natural form. I think it's like extremely flattering and fun to make. It's got all of these sharp lines, and let me back up. So before I did historical, I did I dabbled in Disney and like gowns and royalty and kind of lots of dresses. And what I found was, after having done some natural form and Victorian work, the petticoats and the undergarments from historical costuming really pushes princess gowns up the next level. So I used what I learned from that to inform like the undergarments that I used for my princesses, my royalty characters. So I'm in this weird, like, I kind of do cosplay, but with a historical little tidbit in there.
So I do the opposite of that.
Really?
Because I do historical, but like I have an Iron Man bustle dress and a Cheshire Cat bustle dress, and like I have a cosplay twist to my historical costumes.
Okay, I did a Victorian natural form Hawkeye dress.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
you should join our Avengers Club, because we have Victorian, we have a Thor, we have a Scarlet Witch, we have a Nick Fury, we have Captain America. Yeah.
That's lovely. It doesn't fit me anymore, but that was several years ago now, and I made some mistakes in the construction that I don't think I can fix at this point, but it was really fun at the time.
Yeah, we'll just Photoshop you in. It'll be
fun.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can do anything in Photoshop. It's fine.
Yes.
Since you do cosplay, tell us about what type of characters you gravitate toward.
I feel like it's super obvious every time I pick a new costume. Just some context: I've been cosplaying for 9 years, and I got my sewing machine probably 2 years in, and I kept track of everything that I made. I don't have photos of all of them anymore, but as of now, I'm at 96 costumes.
Whoa!
So, yeah, that's counting all of them, like including ones I've bought or like from friends or something. But if I like put it together and wore it somewhere and like had it on me, I'm counting it as a costume. I'm drawn to characters of color because I think it fits me best. It's most flattering. It makes me feel good. I cosplayed Miss Marvel for a really long time. I cosplayed Nyota Uhura from Star Trek, Moana, because like I remember when the concept art came out, like just the one picture of her like this, like at D23, like the year or two before the movie came out, and I just burst into tears because don't know it now from like my short hair here, but I cut it off because I had that was my hair. Like I had hair this long, this curly, like going everywhere, and she looked like me, and I'd never seen that before, considering my representation was Jasmine, which is not representation. I'm Southwest Asian, North African, or Middle Eastern, pick your flavor. And that was what they gave us. And I was just like, no. Costumes, I also love fancy. So royalty, gowns, bling, jewelry. I cosplayed a countess character for 3 years. I did several Disney princesses. It's basically characters who like, I will step on you and you will thank me. That's my vibe. That's the character I go for, or I will punch you in the face and you will thank me. So very like leaning into the brash sort of thing, like Bo.
Lots of people do that.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah. I love it. I'm kind of in the last few years gone away from high femme and gone more into I will punch you. So that's where I'm at lately.
I find that a lot of introverts like it, and I think there's something there. Like I really do.
Yeah. I mean, we cosplay to put on that persona, right? Like to feel stronger, to feel sexier, to feel whatever it is. So yeah, I think that tracks.
Can I ask you a side question, which is, do you prefer Swana or Middle Eastern?
You can feel free to edit this out if you want, but I am using Swana lately only because I just recently in the last year found out that like Middle Eastern is like a term coined by white people, like coined by colonizers. And I was just like, I don't want to refer to myself in a way. It's a struggle because you want to be identified. And like, that is the larger framework of by which white people can identify you. But at the same time, it is not our term. It is a term like, and it's about, it feels like making myself smaller to be palatable to white people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
Suffer and choke. I will be my full self, and if you can't handle it, then that's your problem, not mine. So lately I have been trying to go more towards Swana because it's a regional thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you spell that so that the people watching, if they're not familiar, can go and Google?
Yeah.
Google knows lots of things. So you can go research what that means.
That would be great. Yeah. So I have it in my Twitter bio. It's SWANA. So Southwest Asian, North African.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because that's where I'm from. My dad is from Egypt. He was born there. He grew up there. My mom is from Lebanon. So
one of my very best friends is Lebanese.
Yay.
And she was born in Canada, but like her family immigrated during like as a refugee in the 80s. Yes. How did you start in costuming?
Oh gosh. I hope you never see the photos of what I did in 2014. I did not send them to you. You have the better photos. So I started with a very bad version of a very baby's first cosplay version, rather. All cosplays are good. It is what you can do at the time, of Korra from Legend of Korra. She was my very first one. She falls into the I will punch you and you will thank me category. But I think the reason I found a place here in the costuming community was Star Trek. Nyota Uhura. I watched the new Trek in 2009 when it came out, the new movies, and then went back and watched the original series. And if you know anything about Star Trek, or the history of like how the original series like got on the air and all of that, Nichelle Nichols, who plays Nyota Uhura, she's a lieutenant on the bridge. She's the communications officer. So she has like this earpiece. She like speaks a zillion languages, and she is North African, I believe. She is Black, like she has dark skin. And at the time, in the 60s, that was groundbreaking. Like that was not something you saw on television, was a person of color in a role that wasn't a slave or a maid or a character meant to prop up white characters. She was her own thing. And she broke open the doors for women in STEM. She broke open the doors for women in space. There's a woman who became an astronaut because of her. And I became a cosplayer because when people were doing Star Trek groups, I was able to say, oh, I can be Uhura. And they welcomed me. And it felt so good to have a place and to know that I was, quote, right, because I looked like her. And I wore my way through 4 versions of Uhura before I bought the screen accurate Anovos dress, which I still have somewhere in my closet, even though it doesn't fit me anymore. And that was where my first handle came from. I took my name from her because I took everything from her. She meant the world to me. And I actually did get to meet Nichelle one day and tell her that, and cried like a baby after. But it was wonderful. I got started in Avatar and in Star Trek, which was the 2 places that I found at first characters that looked like me, characters that fit me, characters I wanted to be like. And then I have since moved on from some of those characters, but that energy is still my main drive.
That's awesome. I met her once at Comic-Con. She was delightful.
She's wonderful.
What keeps you in the costuming community?
I need to make things. That is like the core of it, I think. I've always been a creative person ever since I was teeny little baby, and I tried everything as a kid. I did like every craft you could think of, and now it's all just poured into my cosplay. It's a way that I share my excitement and my love and my tribute to these characters and these stories. And you get to wear it at the end, like when you're done. It's not just like, oh, hey, I made a painting. Like, no, the painting is on your body. You are the art. And it's so cool. And so I keep doing it for that. And I keep doing it for the people on my pages who, yeah, they support me, but it helps them to see somebody like me doing this. And every once in a while they'll tell me that. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is important. And if like just me being creative and like making goofy little costumes that I wear can make someone else feel better in their skin, or make them feel like, oh, I see this person cosplaying, maybe I can do that too. Like I just said, like that's how I got into this, and I want to be that for other people.
That's really great. People talk to me about being a plus size costumer a lot, and every time they say something about it, I'm like, that's why I'm sticking around.
Yeah, that's why you still do it. That's why you do it. And even when things are annoying or like Instagram doesn't show your stuff to people,
I think honestly costuming would be like maybe better if we didn't have Instagram.
Yeah,
because I think like 98% of like some of the problems, 98% of some of the problems come from Instagram being annoying, but it's also a learning tool. So
it is. It's a good and bad.
Yeah. So speaking of, what would you like to see improve in the costuming community?
I would like all predatory photographers to jump in a river.
That's very kind of you. I have other words.
I have other words, but that's what I say when I am trying to not say the other words.
Yeah.
So go jump in a river, which is, for the crazy fans, a quote from Avatar. My thing is colorism. It is so ingrained in so many people that we don't even know it's there. And I have it too. Everyone does, because we have grown up in a white supremacist society. There is no, like, even if you are aware of it, it is something you still have to actively work on. And cosplaying all of these brown characters, I see it. I see brown cosplayers, and this has happened to me, and this has happened to all my friends. Like, I see brown cosplayers cosplaying brown characters, whoever, Moana, anybody, and they post these beautiful photos, and white people get the attention. White people cosplaying characters of color is a whole nother conversation I'm not going to get into now. But the fact remains that, like, if you do it and you are white or thin or conventionally attractive, you will automatically, no matter what, no matter if you are intending for it to happen or how much of an ally you are, you will get more attention, more love, and more shares than a brown cosplayer.
Yep.
And that is because of subconscious colorism. Maybe we don't know we're doing it. We're just like, oh, you look great. But when you get down to the root of it, and it is crushing, it is just so devastating to put your heart and soul into something and not get attention because somebody paler or thinner has also done it. I hate that. And I wish I do what I can. I wish I could just prop up all these people and be like, no, look, they're amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What is your favorite completed project?
Okay, I made almost 100 costumes, so it does vary by the day. However, I think right now I'm really proud of my recent Critical Role builds. If you don't watch, it's a live play, actual play, Dungeons and Dragons show that recently has been exploding in the last couple of years. They have their own show on Amazon now. It's a whole thing. The costumes are extremely involved. And my thing is detail and texture. That is what I focus my work on. So they're not only challenging, but inspiring to me. And I'm really, really proud of the Caleb Widogast and Baxel Dan cosplays that I've made. I taught myself leather working for those. Didn't have that skill before. That was my pandemic hobby. I was like, I'm going to get on YouTube and just watch a bunch of cowboy videos of these like old men like cutting belts and stuff until I learn.
Wow, you went the like legit route instead of just watching other cosplayers, which is what I mean,
you can watch other cosplayers, but like if you type in like leather tools 101, you're gonna get a video of like this old cowboy man being like, let me show it with like the world's worst camera and like showing you all these like things, but they know what's up.
Yep,
they know what's up. So I'm really proud of them, and I'm really proud of the Painted Lady, actually, which is deceptively simple. The Painted Lady is a lot of cosplayers like early or first or like Katara is a very intro friendly build if you would like to take it that way. I did not. So several years ago, my friend and photographer, who is my go-to photographer, if you've seen my page, you see her everywhere, Siffy from Film and Quill, had this idea of putting me on a stool in a lake so that if you line up the stool with the edge of the water, it would look like I was standing on the water. And we were like, oh, well, that's great. We got to try that someday. And then I moved to Kentucky, which is driving distance from where she lives. And suddenly this project that we had thought about years ago was possible. So we're like, oh my gosh, we have to try it. We have to do this. She found a lake. I Googled and made a gigantic hat and did all of the stripe paint. I made her robe out of linen because I'm incapable of making anything out of something that's not linen. It was so heavy, you guys. Don't, dear cosplay loves, don't make that robe out of linen. And I painted myself up and I drove to Columbus, Ohio and walked into a lake.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
How do you get on the stool without getting drenched?
Answer: you don't.
Oh, okay.
You get wet.
Okay.
So what I did, did I lift up the skirt? I think I lifted it up a little bit, but like I basically wore just like just bike shorts underneath it. So like I did the top half of the costume that you could see, and then I wore like swim shorts. And then we found the lake was very shallow. So I was able to walk in like a freakishly far, it was like 20 yards in to this lake. And it was actually ended up being a kitchen stool. Siffy walked into the lake with me, holding her camera. And I was like, oh my God, you can't fall. Please don't. And like helped me up onto the ladder. If you actually look at the photo and like zoom really far in, you can see that like the bottom bit of the robe is wet. It's darker.
Okay.
So I did get wet. And I had
like, how did they do that?
I did get wet, but it wasn't actually very deep. So it was only like knee or thigh high.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I walked in and I climbed up on that ladder and I stood there and I did not move. And we actually had an assistant, Siffy's sister came with us, also got into the lake and threw a smoke bomb.
Yeah.
So the smoke that's in that shot is a practical effect that we actually had in real life. It was not Photoshop, although there was some help from Photoshop. And then Siffy took the photo and did an enormous amount of work to make the smoke balance out and everything in post, but it was there. It was just in the wrong place.
People Google the word smoke bomb. You will never have more fun.
That sounds great. I want to do more smoke bomb shoots. That's like a whole other. I talked so long, guys. The Painted Lady shoot was a 17-hour ordeal for me because I had to do the makeup and then drive to the park 3 hours away, do the shoot, and then drive back. So I slept so much that night, but it is the best art I have ever made. And it's a $75 costume.
Yep. That's how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
And the one you spend $5,000 on is the one that no one notices because they're
Widowcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Caleb Widowcast. I don't even want to tell you how much money I spent on that boy. It is so much money. And it's like 400 likes.
Mm-hmm. And like, you just sit there looking at your phone going,
okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. Liam likes it. Liam thinks it's cool. So that's okay.
Fine.
So that's the Painted Lady story. I can't believe it worked, but it did. And it's because my photographer is amazing.
What is the silliest thing that has ever happened to you during an event?
Oh my gosh, I have so many stories. Almost 10 years of cons for that. Well, 8, I suppose, if you take away COVID. One of my dearest friends is 5 foot flat, and I am taller than her. For a while, we did a lot of ship duos, and whenever you want you go in for like the face hold or like the like forehead touch or like whatever like cutesy thing you're gonna do. I have to like full anime squat to get it to look right, and we can only photograph the top half of the costumes because she's so much shorter than I am. Anyway, it has led to so many laughing, crying through makeup situations because I can't take myself seriously when I am having to kneel on a chair to be as tall as she is. There was also another great one that did not involve me. We were at the Lord of the Rings party at Dragon Con. Dragon Con, if you haven't been, they have lots of themed parties each night, and my favorite one is the Lord of the Rings one. Usually you can go as an elf, but it's more fun if you go as a hobbit because for obvious reasons, mostly you can just dance your heart out to the like live band instead of tripping over your elf skirts. And we were all like doing like, dancing in a circle or whatever, and their flower crowns got stuck on each other, like just stuck on top of each other, and we had to like stop and like finagle them all out from through the wig fibers, and we decided that was a hobbit wedding, and they are now married. So to this day, I call Sabrina Cecily's wife, and it's amazing.
That's funny.
Wow, is my wife gonna be here? I'm like, I don't know, I'll ask her.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of Dragon Con. I love Dragon Con. It's my favorite con. Mm-hmm. It is a 5-day long party. There is stuff happening like panels, and I don't go to any of that. I literally just go to all the parties and then sit in the middle of the hotel and people watch. And that like I can do that for like 10 hours a day. It's fine. Yeah, it's great.
So on the flip side of that, do you have a sentimental or nostalgic costuming memory you want to share with us?
I miss doing cosplay groups. I love doing cosplay groups. That's just like the like type A in me who likes to organize things. And it's like, okay, I'm going to gather like 10 of my friends and we're going to do this thing that matches. It doesn't happen a lot anymore, but a lot of my most nostalgic and sweet memories are from those groups. Like the larger, the better. I was part of a huge X-Men first class group in 2014, for which I think I made like 4 out of those 10 costumes, or helped those friends like make those costumes. It was a summer thing, and we had the whole group like a week after the film came out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Timing. We got like stopped in the hallways, and it was like the best memory. It was like the best con memory because we were all baby cosplayers at the time. So like, looking back at those photos, like, okay, yeah, like we did great, but it wasn't fantastic, but we felt like we were on top of the world. There's the same thing for some of the others. Like we did the 7 main characters from the Adventure Zone. I don't know. I can't say that if it's a spoiler, but we did have matching sort of outfits. and we had all 7 characters, and that was so much fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, group costumes are the best. What costuming groups or organizations are you in?
I'm in a lot. I am a mod in Jenny D's cosplay marketing group. So I've been doing that or an admin, whichever you want to say, doing that for a few years. The critical cosplay group on Facebook, Sheprop.
Can you talk about Sheprop? Because I keep seeing that and I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, Sheprop is great. So I'm not a mod there. I do not work there, but my friends are mods. It is a Facebook group for female and non-binary and trans cosplayers. I like it because they have like non-discrimination rules, and they also have do not use a gendered greeting rule, which I love because I hate being addressed to hey ladies. I just can't stand it. It's great. It's a great way to like post for hype, to post for sourcing if you're like trying to buy a dress form or something, or problem solving. It's a really great community, and it's been a good time to be a part of. The last one I want to mention is the Padme Amidala costuming group, because it is the only Star Wars group I've found that is not elitist.
That is something.
We've
had a bunch of Star Wars people in the show, and it's always a discussion about the Star Wars community.
I used to be in a Rey costuming group and left because they, like, after one of the recent movies, they were sitting there all talking about which direction the seams on her knees went. And I was like, all right, I don't care. I care about Rey, and I want to do this costume, but I'm not going to be like that. Whereas in the Padme Amidala group, whenever somebody is posting that's like, oh, I'm going to try this Padme outfit, the response is, oh, holy shit, hell yeah, let's do it. Like, great job. That's like for taking that on. And no matter what level to which you create a Padme outfit, they're always like, yes. And it's very hype. It's very like encouraging, no matter what level of costumer you are, because Padme is difficult. She has 100 dresses. They're all crazy. Like, unless you're doing Geonosis Padme, you have a lot to do. So the atmosphere is a lot more supportive. And I love that place to pieces.
What cons or events do you recommend?
Oh, Holiday Matsuri is my favorite, probably, convention. It is a Christmas themed convention in Orlando, Florida. And because I'm from Florida, I have been going to it since it was like a hallway. And now it's a whole thing that people like fly from to come to. And it's so good. It's so much fun. It's the last con of the year. It's almost Christmas. The weather's great. You can do like cute little Christmas outfits. It's amazing. I also really love Dragon Con. I mentioned that earlier. And KatsuCon, which I went to for the first time right before the pandemic started in February 2020. Unfortunately, I am not attending this year, but I hope to, hopefully next year.
For people interested, Holiday Matsuri is not Christian centered.
So. Correct. Yeah, it is not. It is like Christmas tree, like secular Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas Vibes Con.
Christmas Vibes Con is a better way to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can make like a lot of like Harley Quinn with like the candy cane weapon, like stuff like that. You know, it's cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen
Christmas Belle.
Poison Ivy with mistletoe.
Yeah. Or like Winter Belle, or like somebody who does like the Prince Anastasia is really popular because like December. Stuff like that. Or you could just wear whatever you want. I never do Christmas outfits. I just have a good time.
Yeah. Who's your costumer crush?
Two cosplayers who really inspire me, who I just make me want to do better things, are Hey Lizard Lee, who's a dear friend of mine, who has since in the last few months gone full-time with costuming, has an amazing YouTube channel, always makes me want to do better. And Soappoke Cosplay, who does like so many of the fandoms and fantasy things that I love dearly, like even Pirates of the Caribbean, which like nobody cosplays. Can't recommend them enough. The techniques that they use for recreating fantasy work in like real life and making it work is amazing.
Awesome. We will put links to those folks downstairs for you.
Please.
What is your entertainment routine for when you're sewing or crafting? Avatar:
The Last Airbender on repeat.
Nice. Okay.
I've seen it more than 200 times. I'm kind of crazy. It's
like all the way through?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. Like quite literally, like if I can't think of, oh, there's his tail. if I can't think of something to watch, or I don't know what to do, or I'm feeling down or uninspired, or I just need to go, I will put on Avatar. And I have it memorized. So there you go. If I'm not feeling Avatar, sometimes it's old Disney shows or Star Wars shows are good for that, like the animated stuff, or Critical Role.
For folks who don't know what Critical Role is, it's like Dungeons and Dragons being played out. And there is a YouTube. I think you mentioned that there is a new television show on Amazon, and then also podcasts. So if you don't like visual stuff while you're working, you can do it in any way you want. Like they will give you that show in formats that work for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna go look it up. But like, it's people on the TV show. What are they? Are they?
So
they're sitting around the table.
It's filmed like on YouTube live. So basically, like, think about your D&D table at home being filmed. So it's the people sitting at a table, like rolling their dice and playing. And but it's, which sounds maybe a little bit lame, and it's not for everybody, but it's DM'd by Matthew Mercer, who is incredible and has since written several source books for actual Wizards of the Coast. He has an entire room. He has an entire room of minis and trees and battlefields that he makes for the crew. They're all voice actors professionally, so they all have a character voice, and they have like an extremely well played out role play and a beautiful like table, and it's a little bit more than just listening to some people play a D&D game, I think, because they're professionals. They have since gone full time with it, so now you can watch it on YouTube, listen to the show in podcast form, like without the YouTube video if you want. That's how I started, but now I prefer to have the YouTube video on, even if it's just in the background, because they like physically act out some stuff too.
Yeah.
And a few years ago had a Kickstarter that broke the world record for the amount of money, most money ever raised on Kickstarter. They thought they were going to get $800,000. They raised $11.3 million. And the stretch goal was one animated episode of their first campaign. Because they raised so much money, they got a contract with Amazon Prime Video and put together not one, but 2 seasons of an animated show of their first campaign. So in that show, I know it's a really long explanation, they play their own characters. So like they're voice acting their own characters, which are then animated as if it's like an anime. So I think it's a lot like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood in the like action and like level of gore and adult content. It is very adult. So it's not for kiddos. It's honestly a little much for me. And I am a full adult.
So I haven't watched the animated series, but I know that series 1 was like half a season because they started filming it halfway through their campaign.
Correct.
So did they flush that out in the cartoon?
No, that's a complicated story. No. Short answer, no. They didn't start right at the beginning. They started at what in the show is about episode 26.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of the most popular mini arcs in the show. So they did not start at the beginning. They started at episode 26 for the Briarwood arc, at which all of the characters are about level 10.
The great thing about D&D and particularly this show is like you don't have to actually have heard the rest of it. I mean, it's nice to have the backstory, but it's just like dropping into someone's actual life in some ways where like you don't know all the things, but you'll find out through conversations what happened before. So like you don't have to feel like you have to watch the entire back catalog. You can just drop in pretty much anywhere and watch it and have a good time. It's halfway between like a D&D game and the LARP.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you want, you can just watch the show too. You don't have to listen to the lots of episodes on YouTube. It is daunting. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of episodes.
If you just want to watch the animated show, that's great. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I've never seen a D&D game. So this sounds like a way to like find out what happens. Like I've always been curious. Like you just sit around a table and do what? So this might be something, it's like I'm more of like a voyeur than anything. I just want to know what goes on, even though I don't want to play.
No, you will ruin D&D games for yourself.
Not true. Not true. I raised my voice. That's not true. I started playing D&D myself because of Critical Role, because I got inspired. If you just want to watch and see like what the heck is up with that.
Yeah.
absolutely put it on.
But not all D&D games are that awesome.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. Like my first con was San Diego Comic-Con. That ruined all other cons. And this is the same thing.
It's like going to a professional Broadway show.
Yeah.
And then going to community theater.
I got you.
Yeah.
They're both great for different reasons, but you cannot expect Broadway from community theater, and you should not expect community theater prices from Broadway.
Yes. All right. Who inspires you?
Critical Role. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, I'm inspired by a lot of different people and places and things. Shows, anyone that makes me want to continue trying, to be better, to give it another go, to show up for myself. It comes in lots of different forms. And sometimes that's people on Critical Role, and sometimes that's my best friend. It doesn't matter. I feel like I should plug Siffy here again. I call her my photographer. She doesn't belong to me. She's just my favorite. Film and Quill, who beloved by me. She shoots exactly the way that I want my work to be shown. And we have been friends for a long time. And when I see, like, I make the costumes, but like when I see what she does with them, like what she does with me as a model, as a friend, in the middle of nowhere, we usually shoot in like a park. It's nothing fancy. She inspires me so every day. Like, I want my costumes to be up there on the level with her photography. Like, that is what makes me want to make it good.
The symbiotic relationships between costumers and photographers is really important, and it can be like the most motivating and also the most demotivating thing.
Depending,
so the relationship that you get, did you find this person as a friend first or as a photographer first?
I don't remember. I think, no, yes, I do. Oh, wow. That's I just went on a whole journey there.
We watched you do that.
Yeah, you watched me go on a whole face journey. So Siffy is one of 6, I think, siblings. And her costuming page is called the Sisters Mischief. She usually cosplays with her sisters. I was a fan and then a friend of them as sisters, as cosplayers first.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined them in a group once a long time ago now, doing Merlin, the BBC show Merlin, for which I cosplayed Gwen. And Siffy was Merlin, and Siffy's sister was Arthur, and Siffy's other sister was Morgana. And so we became friends through that, or like cemented our friendship through that, and have worked together on and off over the years since then.
Yeah, it's really good if you can get like a human bond with your photographer.
Yes. Yeah. And I actually feel like I am an open book. If you are watching this and you're like, wow, I don't even know who to shoot with, what's photography? I talk about it a lot on my page.
Mm-hmm.
If you need help finding a photographer, if you need help, especially if you're brown, let me know. Not all photographers are created equal. And it's extremely important to find somebody that you trust and that can shoot you properly. And when you find those people, let them know and pay them well.
Yes. The trust thing is really important for like 84 different reasons, including like how your work is represented, but how safe you feel on your shoot, because there are predatory photographers out there. So do your research on photographers as well. Like,
yes,
you hear people talking about amazing photography and you find a photographer and you think they're going to be amazing because you've seen their shots. That doesn't mean that they're a good person. So get
always vibe check. Always.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Actually, coming from the SCA, I always look at photos that other costumers and cosplayers take, and I'm like, those are gorgeous. And I'm comparing those to photos my friends take of me at events, because, we're not at events performing for other people. We're just like kind of doing experimental archaeology ourselves. And so, your friend will take a shot. But when I see, the quality of the work that these photographers give and the way they're able to spotlight the work of the costumer that they're shooting, it's just amazing. So I am definitely going to be looking into getting professional photos. So if anyone knows good photographers in the New Orleans area, let me know, or the Washington, Seattle area, let me know.
I know someone who might know someone. I'll
Okay.
message you.
I know someone in Seattle for you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of really cool outfits. I just take selfies when I'm at an event. It's just like, okay, I'm going to take a selfie and then put my phone away so that I don't have any modern things out. And they never capture what the beauty of the dress.
Girl with the blue hair. It's very good.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't worked with them.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who've worked with them, and they're amazing. And I would recommend them just based on my friends recommending them to me.
So let's talk about gratitude for a moment. Who or what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for Time Stitcher. Her name is Laura. She is a historical customer and long time customer. She's been sewing for like 20 years. And I would not be here without her. She, when I first started, taught me everything. Like I either learned from YouTube or I learned from her. And she, like, we must have had 100 hours of Skype sessions through which she walked me and my friend through building the Skylar sisters. She was my sister. She was my Eliza, and I cosplayed Angelica. And that was my first historical build. That was way back in 2016. I was the first cosplayer to do Angelica Skylar because Hamilton had only been out for a few months at the time. Yeah, she is very, very special to me, and I'm very grateful for everything that she has taught me.
If you could give new costumers one piece of advice, what would it be?
Iron your seams, please. Iron your costumes. It kills me inside when I see like somebody in a beautiful outfit and then it's like a gown that has wrinkles. And I'm like, honey, I know you're at a hotel. Pack an iron. Bring a steamer if you don't want to iron it because it's made of satin. Just, you worked so hard on it. Why are you going to let it be ruined by wrinkles? Also, iron your seams as you're making it. Makes it look way better. That's the number one thing. And also, if you're making something complicated, and I learned this from a friend, spend the majority of your energy on the headshot zone. So you want to spend 70% of your money on this much of your costume. Because when people take pictures of you, they go, and what do they take a picture of? They take a picture of your top half. So that means investing in good makeup, investing in a nice wig, or like if your character has a necklace or something, like a nice like a nice version, like maybe you spend just a little bit more money to get a nicer version, or like a lace front wig instead of a flat wig, and then wear whatever boots you want because no one's looking at your feet, they're looking at your face. So that's the best thing I can suggest.
100%.
Yeah.
Iron your seams.
I did not come here to be called out like this today.
Well.
I did not wake up thinking that I was going to go onto YouTube and have, okay.
Have a beloved brand new friend say iron your shit.
I always thought that was like overrated, but I think you're right.
It's not though.
Not.
Like I'm not exaggerating. Like it will take, it is the single thing that you can do that is easy and costs no more money that will make your costume look like you tried so much harder than you did.
Also, physically, like using physics, it is better for your costume because when you iron it, your stitches lock into your fabric instead of sitting on top of them. Mm-hmm. And it makes your seams stronger. It makes everything crisper. It makes the flow of the design. It makes the seam disappear. Like, it's important.
It makes it fit better too.
Yes, so every time.
Even if I serge the inside of my seams, I will still iron them flat.
Yes. Yeah.
I will do that.
So usually you, even no matter what your seam is, you iron flat first to lock in those seams, and then you either iron like forward or backwards, depending on which way you want your seams to lay, or open. Some seams are open.
You don't even have to finish your seams. I'm not even talking about that. Just iron them.
Oh no, I serge them just because I want them like finished.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
I don't want them to fray.
Finish your seams, people. Don't listen to them. Finish your seams.
Listen, you can use those little like clippy things. What are they called?
Pinking shears are still finishing. That's still finishing. Well, yeah.
Pinking shears. If you can't afford a serger, fine. This is we've been here too long, guys.
Okay, we got one more question.
All right.
And we're at the end. Yeah. If you have a closing message on equity and inclusion or anything else that you want to send out, now is the time.
Okay. Oh, this is my little spicy pedestal moment. I have two. One is for costumers of color and one is for white costumers. Costumers of color, don't ever shy away from doing something because of what white people might say. You're giving them power over you. You deserve to be in this space just as much as anybody else. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be appreciated. If you're afraid of doing something because, oh, like I'm too dark or I'm too this or I'm too that, or they might not like this, I might get hate for this, do it anyway. Don't listen. Don't do what white people tell you to do. We have enough of that in our lives. You can do it. You can do it. I told you so. And for white cosplayers, if you ever find yourself going to a brown friend or mutual, or not even a mutual, some person you follow, somebody of color, and asking them whether or not it's okay to do XYZ, whatever it is, to cosplay a brown character, to cosplay Pocahontas, whatever it is that you're asking. If you have to ask, you already know the answer.
Yep.
Don't do it. If you feel like it's probably not good and you're looking for validation, it's probably not good. Just don't do it. Trust your gut. If it feels wrong, that's because it is. And you don't need to be asking brown people for the emotional labor of telling you, holding your hand and saying it's okay. If you feel like maybe this isn't a thing I should do, just trust yourself. And you're right.
100%.
Yep.
You already know.
Yeah. You already know. You already know. You know when things are wrong and right. Same thing with brown cosplayers. Anybody. Like, we're humans.
Yeah.
If it feels
Also,
like maybe not good, then don't do it.
Yeah. Also, if you're a white person and you see a brown cosplay that you would like to do, just leave it for brown people. Just don't do it. You don't even need to ask yourself the question. Just be like, oh, that person's brown, I shouldn't do this because they don't have enough representation as it is. Let's let them have it. Because as we said earlier, you're going to get the attention, and that's not fair.
People don't like that. They don't like hearing that.
Yep.
In my experience, white people don't like to be told they can't do something.
I hate it. But also,
but when you have 98% of the world to flash in, let me have my 2%. Let me play over here in Avatar: The Last Airbender where there are no white people. Yep. Like, this is my universe.
I know you like Moana. Let it go.
Yeah, I know you like Moana.
Be like Elsa. Yeah. Cosplay Elsa.
Go cosplay Elsa. She's beautiful and pale and pale and pale. Yeah, you have so many things.
Yeah.
Let us have the ones that we have.
Yeah. Do that,
so,
please.
I hope that's not, I feel these things strongly. I want to be, I want this to be a place that people can feel good. So
yeah, I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Noor, for joining us today and letting us get to know you a little bit better. It was really a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for asking me.
And thank you also to our viewers for joining us today. We will leave a list of Noor's information down below for you to go follow them on all of their platforms. So do that.
Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. It helps push reach out for us and for the costumers of color that we are showcasing. Hey. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to get notified about any new episodes. There's the little bell thing. And if you have a costumer of color that you would like to see interviewed, let us know in the form that we insert down below. That costumer can be you. We're not fussy about this. Make sure to leave a little love for Noor in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye, guys.